I got a man, is all I can say about him. He's a man that won't turn no heads, but he's mine, and that makes him all right in my book. Except, of course, for the large wart on the back of his hand. Oh, every time he put his hand on my body, all I can see is that wart. Watching it move back and forth when he touches me. Oh, I don't feel nothing because I'm too busy staring at that wart and getting madder by the minute. But he's a stubborn man. And every time I mention having the doc cut off that ugly lump growing on his hand, he gets red with anger, and I know I better shut my mouth, 'cause my man's scared of something. It took me a while to figure out exactly what he's scared of inside his big man's body. Men. You wonder why they got to be together all the time, drinking beer and talking about football, or when they shot that 15-point buck, slapping each other on the back and not coming home till their wives is in bed, sleeping and too tired to want. I'm laying in bed at night with that ache coming over me, settling there at the top of my legs. He's drinking beer with his buddies, and I'm laying in bed, wanting him real bad. I begin to dwell on why my man ain't home in our bed, fucking me, something fierce like he's supposed to be. Fucking is one of them silent promises made when a person marries, intended to be faithful for the rest of their married lives. Well, now here's the tricky part. How come a wife has to be faithful to a husband who'd rather drink beer with his buddies and talk about old times or compare football scores like they is history dates we is all made to memorize in school? I asked myself that while laying all lonely in bed, pressing on the ache with my fingers, rubbing it a little to make myself feel better. Finally, I come up with the answer. He's scared of my pussy. Scared he'll be swallowed by my pussy. Disappear up there one night while he's gone to town, enjoying himself, fucking me real good. Disappear inside a woman's body where he come from. Ain't no way to convince him he won't fit no matter how wet my pussy gets. Now, seems to me if my man's worried about disappearing inside of me, then I got to convince him good. My pussy's too small, so I says, "Honey?" "Yeah," he says. "My pussy's getting smaller. Can hardly get one of them feminine plugs inside when it's my time of the month." "Don't need to hear nothing female," he says, and of course I already know he's scared of my pussy, so I don't take offense. "Well, honey," I says again, "if my pussy gets any smaller, you won't be able to get that big pecker of yourn inside." He raises his head from the Sports Illustrated magazine he's reading and looks real hard at me, eyes traveling down some and stopping at the top of my legs. "What you saying, Lorna, talking like a fool? Them things don't get smaller. Besides, yours is as big as a bucket." Now here I could really take offense, 'cause I don't appreciate my pussy being compared to a bucket. I got me some attachment to it. I've been living with it all my life, and occasionally it gives me pleasure when my man is making himself useful, which ain't now. He goes back to reading his magazine. I'm sitting opposite him at the kitchen table wondering what to say next. I think for a while, straining myself to come up with something that'll get his attention. "Well, Lester, I'll just have to shut down on you. Doc's orders. I've been suffering too much pain." "What pain?" he says, and drops the magazine on the table. Now I know he means to listen. "I told you I shrunk tight and your pecker won't fit no more. The doc examined me last week and said I had Vagin's malady." "What's that?" "Something awful what happens to a woman when she ain't been getting plenty of lovin'." "Well, damn, Lorna, sorry to hear about that. Reckon it's my fault," he says. And I know better than to let a man believe he ain't been a man, so I says, "No, honey, ain't your fault. I just stopped wanting 'cause of that wart you got on the back of your hand. Makes my skin creep over my body. Them lumps is catchin'." I look at him real pitiful, and I swear he melts on top of his Sports Illustrated magazine. "Don't you worry none, Lorna. I'll go to the doc's tomorrow and have him cut it off. Make you feel better?" "Sure does," I says, and squeeze a tear of gratitude from my eye and let it slide down my cheek and drop silently on my cotton dress. "But, honey, please don't embarrass me none by mentioning my little problem." "Sure won't, and we'll take care of your little problem soon enough." He lays his other hand, the one without the wart, on the ache between my legs, making it ache worse.